Chapter 19. Finding Faith in the Roman Empire. Choosing between Roman gods, Judaism, early Christianity, Neoplatonism, Stoicism, Epicureanism, and Mithraism around the year 200 of the Common Era. Part 1. Imperial Roman Religion. Written and produced by Thomas Tyseal. Copyright Thomas Tyseal, unless otherwise noted. Arriving in Rome about 200 of the Common Era, you would of course encounter traditional Roman religion. It was a fluid amalgam of old mythic gods encountered through cultural mixing held together by the Roman calendar, as you can see at right. Romans did not think that gods and men interacted much. Peace and Roman unity, however, depended on making sacrifices to the gods in public ceremonies, which often included dramatic performances and hymns. Public participation was expected because it reinforced state unity. Of the traditional gods, the one you would have seen most prominently would have been Jupiter, Juno, his wife, and Minerva, his daughter. They had a temple on Capitoline Hill, the smallest of the 7 hills of Rome, but the most politically and religiously important. The 3 gods were called the Capitoline Triad. Temples for the 3, called Capitolia, were built on hills and in other prominent areas in many cities throughout the empire. Of course, you would have also seen statues and art related to the other traditional and adopted gods. Venus, the Roman god of love and beauty, modeled after the Greek god Aphrodite, is at the center of this painting from Pompeii. Mars, the Roman god of war, modeled after the Greek god Ares, stands behind her. Cupid, the son of Venus, is off to the left. And you would see statues and paintings of generals and emperors. Triumphant generals would be honored with an elaborate parade, a triumph, during which they would dedicate their victories to the god Jupiter at Capitolina. The picture here is of the triumph of Aemilius Paulus by Carl Vernet, painted in 1789 and housed at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Emperors, also called princeps, meaning first in order, could be granted divine authority by the Senate. A deceased emperor could be voted a state divinity, a god, Caesar was declared a god by the Senate after he was assassinated. Augustus, Caesar's adopted son, was thus known as son of a god, and he too was deified after his death. You might also see the Temple of Vesta and its Vestal Virgins. Vesta was considered a guardian of the Roman people. Her festival, celebrated every June the 7th through the 15th, was regarded as one of the most important Roman holidays. The centerpiece of worship was a sacred fire, which was often found in homes as well. As you've seen, fire worship is ancient and found in Vedic, ancient Iranian, and Zoroastrian religions, among others. The temple was maintained by 6 Vestal virgins, chosen before puberty and serving as virgins for 30 years. Their virginity was thought essential to Rome's survival. A portion of the painting by Louise Hector Leroux is shown here. If you arrived in Rome, say in the year 220 of the Common Era, you'd see how chaotic religious affairs were. The emperor would have been Elagabalus, who ruled from 218 to 222 of the Common Era. The family of his mother were high priest of the god Baal at Emesa in ancient Syria. Remember Baal from chapter 6, and you thought you were done with him. Look carefully at the emperor's name, Elagabalus, and you'll see the name of the high god of Canaan, El, together with the name Baal, El's son and the god of storm and harvest. Underscoring the chaotic nature of religion in Rome, Elagabalus tried to impose the worship of Baal upon the Roman world. It did not go well. Elagabalus and his mother were executed by his Praetorian guards so that his cousin Alexander could rule. Alexander was also a weak ruler. In 235, he and his mother were also executed. Rome was rough, even for emperors and their moms. There's no getting around the magnificence of Rome, all the pomp, fantastic art, and the deep mythic structure of Roman religion could be appealing. On the other hand, the chaos of the gods, the family conflict among them, their failure to address serious philosophical concerns, and the occasional attempt to impose the ever-changing beliefs of emperors may give you pause in accepting the imperial religion of Rome. What other religious choices were available? In the next section, we'll consider Judaism and Christianity.